Hello, YouTubers and NFL fans everywhere. This is Matt, the NFL Fanatic, with my 2014 NFL season review. Well, for everybody out there to listen to my Super Bowl prediction video, I'm sorry that I was a week late. I've been going back to school, and I've been very busy with all my work. So I apologize to all my viewers out there that couldn't get my thoughts on the whole season. And the off season for next year out the way. So sorry for the wait. But what a tremendous way to end the 2014 season with Super Bowl 49. Of course, the New England Patriots shockingly won the Super Bowl 28-24 in one of the most bizarre ways you will ever see in a football game. People still now, let's see, today is the 10th, about 9 days later, still in shock about what they saw with Pete Carroll probably making the dumbest Super Bowl call in the history of the game, because everybody, just like myself, didn't quite understand. You get down to about the half-yard line, and you decide to throw the ball on second down, where on the play before, he ran it for about 4.5 yards to the half-yard line. So, again, and I know a lot of people have been criticizing Carroll and Wilson, and I do believe criticism should go out to all of them. But, for me personally, I think that I'd probably say 80% of the criticism should go to Pete Carroll and Darrell Bevell, just for making that call and really co-signing on that call to not run the ball. Because I'm one of those people that would say this: Marshawn Lynch needing to get half a yard. And if your offensive line, it's not like he wasn't behind an offensive line that could do any kind of push. It wasn't like he was just running into the New England Patriots defense by himself. No. He was running behind an offensive line. If Marshawn Lynch couldn't get half a yard, then that New England Patriots defense deserves a lot of credit. Well, with that, I feel that, it was also just a great play by Malcolm Butler. What a great story for him as well. Malcolm Butler probably went from goat to goat in about 30 seconds to a minute. He went from the guy that probably everybody would have criticized for giving the game up after he made a incredible play on a reception that Jermaine Kearse even made a better catch on. A better catch on. But at the end of the day, he was able to break on the ball quick enough so Ricardo Lockett couldn't get there fast enough, and they were able to win the game. So congratulations for him. And I thought he should have got the Super Bowl MVP trophy. Of course, that went to Tom Brady. But again, when you throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, I might add, on the Seattle Seahawks, that's an incredible performance, and they deserve to get that victory. Though, when you look at the New England Patriots, the Deflategate is still out there. It's one of those situations that I'm very interested to see how that is going to go, because I do think that for every Patriot fan, this Super Bowl win finally may silence the doubters that they couldn't win a Super Bowl ever since Spygate. And it was amazingly, you had 3 ridiculous catches that everybody was calling the one Kearse had the curse, which I thought was pretty clever there in how they worded that. But I'm one of those individuals that look at the New England Patriots and say this: they've won 4 Super Bowls in the last 14 years. They've been to 9 AFC Championship games. And this is one of the most incredible runs and the most impressive dynasty in the modern era. Okay, you could argue that the Steelers and Niners were both better, but I do think the New England Patriots deserve a lot of credit. And I actually am going to say this: for next year, I do believe the New England Patriots will get back to the Super Bowl. And even that's against my own team, and I might get some flack for just picking them. But I just want anybody out there that really understands the game or really look at their teams and say with a lot of pride that the New England Patriots, that their team can beat the New England Patriots. There's only 3 teams out there right now that I see that can do it. And that is the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Denver Broncos if Peyton Manning comes back. And by the way, Peyton Manning is training in New Orleans, or he's, conditioning his body, so best of luck to him. And I do hope he tries to give one more shot, even though I do believe, again, that he won't be able to get back to the Super Bowl if the New England Patriots keep that team all together, especially with the signings of Darrelle Revis, Devin McCourty, Vince Wilfork, and other big free agents. But I want anybody out there to really say, should the New England Patriots get back? See, the Seattle Seahawks have a much tougher road. They have to deal with Arizona getting fully healthy, even though they have to deal with Larry Fitzgerald in the offseason and some other contracts. They have the Green Bay Packers, who maybe should have been in this game anyway after blowing a 16-point lead. You have to worry about the Dallas Cowboys. If they can get their pieces together, they're a threat. And then you have other teams like Philadelphia who are decent. And there's more ammunition in the NFC than the AFC that I really, am not concerned about. But overall for the year, though, it's been definitely a tumultuous year for the league. You had definitely the most scandals I've seen since watching that were really devastating on public image. From, of course, domestic violence was the big one with Greg Hardy, who, by the way, did get his charges dropped. And now with that in mind, I do believe that in the court of public law, he is no longer guilty. In the court of public opinion, he may be guilty by everybody's standards, and I respect that. But if he doesn't have any charges, he should be allowed to play in the league. As much as maybe that might be not the right stance. But you did have Greg Hardy, of course, Ray Rice, and you do have Ray McDonald, Jonathan Dwyer, and all those stories. Do all the fuss about the drug policy with Josh Gordon and all these athletes. And it's kind of, to touch on Josh Gordon for a second, from what I've heard, I am one of those people that, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, I cut Josh Gordon after he got busted again. And I know people out there are like, Josh Gordon, should, get another chance. Here's what, it's only alcohol, it's only marijuana. I understand that those perspectives are fair. And again, marijuana and alcohol, it's not like he's on coke or he hasn't killed, he hasn't done anything nearly as dangerous as other people have. But it's something where he's had over 9 or 10 offenses in his football playing career from college. Remember, this is a man that's been kicked out of 2 universities, the University of Baylor and the University of Utah. He got picked in the supplemental draft, only having 720 yards receiving and 6 touchdowns for stats. That is pretty impressive. And now that he's got busted now for the 5th time, and here's the best part that nobody ever realizes. Josh Gordon got busted in a policy that he reinvented. He was the case, compared to Ray Rice, that actually got this whole drug reform going. Think about how sad that is in a perspective. That Josh Gordon got busted for a policy that he revamped. He was the main reason that the whole the NFL drug policy got revamped. And a lot of players have to thank Josh Gordon for getting it revamped. So that's, in some ways, if I were the Cleveland Browns, I would cut him. I understand that he's a very big talent. But do you really want the city of Cleveland to go through any more struggle or any more scrutiny from fans? Because, you look at Johnny, you look at Josh, you look at what your owner's been doing, you look at that whole organization's a big mess. And I wouldn't want any more negative scrutiny coming at me from fans or from other people, just because, Cleveland fans or any fan that has scrutiny, they don't like dealing with it, and, they probably will lash out at other people. And it's where they don't sound smart. They're just angry because they're just making negative comments about teams. All fans do it. We do it. I do it with people. That's how we fans are. And when you use truth, it's hard to argue against it. It's hard to argue against facts. So, that's my thought, on the Josh Gordon thing. I hope he gets better. I personally do. And I hope that this year maybe can help him, even though he's in denial about him ever having a problem. But, I look at this whole season and say, it was a great year. We had the great stories of the Dallas Cowboys coming back to relevance, winning a playoff game for the first time in 5 years. You had the Indianapolis Colts moving forward. You saw definitely strange demises in cities like New Orleans and Tampa and Atlanta, where all these teams you maybe thought could compete, Chicago, they definitely have gone through big rebuilding projects. We're definitely trying to rebuild. And then you had teams like Baltimore fight through. and get into the playoffs. And it was just a great year of football. You had definitely big surprise. You had big stars come up. Odell Beckham Jr., Teddy Bridgewater, Mike Evans. A lot of these young guys are coming in and becoming big stars. And for all those teams out there, there's now optimism that they can move forward. And yet there are some teams out there with negative perspectives that they're trying to really make some big team-altering decisions that, can change the course of their team forever. But I really enjoyed this season. This was one of the most talked about NFL seasons, mostly more bad than good. But everybody enjoyed the game. And this Super Bowl, unlike last year's, I'll remember it a lot more. I enjoyed the game. I thought Russell Wilson played a solid game overall. Brady played a better game, obviously. And I do have to give that, offense credit. Nobody thought that they could put up, that many points. I didn't think so. I didn't think they would have a chance to actually win it on their offense. So kudos to them. And kudos to Brady and Belichick, 4 together. This is definitely the most consistent franchise. The San Antonio Spurs-esque run that this team has had, it's incredibly impressive. But to me, I'm looking at next year, and there's definitely a lot more big free agents. You have Des Bryant's, Demaryius Thomas's, DeMarco Murray's, possibly Adrian Peterson. You have other defensive free agents like the Rivas could be, McCourty, Justin Houston, Tamba Ali. A lot of these guys are going to be. It's going to be great to see where all these players move. And now we get to start the whole cycle again of having college players come in, and now different teams are going to have different looks on their season. So I enjoyed the year. I enjoyed the game. And that's it. So anybody out there, any of my fans that watch these videos, please in the comments section or just in a message, tell me what videos of football or any other sport. I try to follow Sports Center and try to get some news or try to watch things and stay current with sports. And let me know what you guys want me to talk about. This is the off season, and anybody has any views that they want me to get my thoughts on, just please put in the comment section. I love hearing feedback. It just helps me improve as a person who is a YouTuber, just to see what people like what I say or people don't like what I have to say, and I can move forward from there. So that was my thoughts on the whole season, and that's it. So until next time, or until I have another idea or something I want to get off my chest, this is Matt the Fanatic signing off. Till then, so long.